report back to the leadership team with some of my findings. And a little history there, Nate. The company that I'm at, Sharp Notions, I just started about 3 weeks ago as the very first HR manager. So with that, I'm taking over the entire recruiting process. I was inherited Google Hire, which I know you probably are aware, being in the industry, that it just sunsetted about a day ago. So as of right now, I wouldn't say rapidly, looking to get an ATS on board, but there's a little bit of urgency to find something pretty good and get running on it.
Okay. Well, ApplicantStack, there's virtually no setup time. So have you signed up for the free trial online by chance?
I have. I've been so busy this week, though. I haven't really done much more than just looked at it for a few minutes. So yeah, I did sign up. I got all the information, but yeah, I just haven't had the chance to really play around with it yet.
Cool. Well, you can activate that account at any time. You just go into the billing, put in a credit card, and select some of the features that you want. And then it'll actually give you what your monthly reoccurring cost will be. So this is just a month-to-month service, pay as you go. You can pay for a year up front and receive a 10% discount off of the annual total. And then if you were to add any upgrades or make any changes throughout the year, we prorate that and send you a monthly bill or issue a credit, just depending on the nature of the upgrade.
Nice.
Do you have familiar with, or are you familiar with recruiting with Google Hire? Is that the only one that you've used, or
no? Yeah, this is my first time ever using Google Hire. Most of my experience was with Jazz HR. I implemented that at the company I was at for about 8 years, and then I do have quite a bit of ADP experience as well. So one pretty small tool, one enterprise tool, and then just a couple weeks to play around with Google Hire.
Cool. Okay. So with Sharp Notions, tell me about your hiring process now, or is there nothing because they haven't had an HR manager?
Yeah, it's kind of been a combination of different people. A couple of the founders have been pretty hands-on with the recruiting process. Some of the managers have gone in there. Ultimately, it just hasn't been an efficient process. They're all super busy, and as much as they know that recruiting is a huge priority for the company, they just really haven't had the time to invest into it and make a good process. For example, from my understanding, it's just been really slow to set up interviews, get feedback, really slow on getting the offers out. The onboarding process hasn't been, exactly smooth per se. So they've been, doing okay with it. They have used some staffing firms, which has definitely helped. But since I'm here now, I want to eliminate that use of staffing firms as much as possible, keep this in-house and just really develop a nice automated process where, we can identify candidates pretty quickly, get them through the process, have some good communication between the different teams, and then, get those offers out there as soon as we can.
Okay. Well, we can definitely help in virtually every area. So how big is your team internally that will be, or that you will want using this system? The reason I ask is that's how our pricing structure works.
Okay. So with Hire, I want to say there was maybe like 5 or 6 people in the system off the top of my head. So I'd say probably something close to that. So how does that work with pricing?
So with pricing, whether you choose to go with recruiting or onboarding standalone or both together, you get 1 admin and 5 hiring managers. Okay. So we don't care how many jobs you post. We do partner with the job boards that I'll show you here in a second. And you can post there for free. Some of them do require that you have an account on the platform in order to post there. Others don't. And you can also pay or work individually with that company outside of ApplicantStack. And you can pay them to increase your listings, sponsor them, just try and get better visibility. But that's not always necessary using our platform, because the way that you can customize your job listings, build questionnaires, set up your workflows. I mean, the mindset behind ApplicantStack is get your account up and running. We do offer a one-time free training and implementation call, and you'll work with an industry expert. His name is Mark Sells. And if you have any questions on setup or how to build applications in the system, he can definitely help you. But after that, it's really a self-service program, which majority of people prefer, because they don't need to contact support. They don't have to ask for help unless they need it. We do offer it. but you have an online help center that we use internally and our support team uses. And so if you need to address or change something in the system, you can go and search that library and find step-by-step instructions with videos, how-tos. So the system itself is extremely user-friendly, okay? So 1 admin, 5 hiring managers is the entry-level license. You're $95 a la carte, so that's recruiting and or onboarding, and that's per month. If you want both systems together, you're $135 per month. And then the only additional upgrades from there would be texting. You get unlimited texting for $25 per month. So we're not going to nickel and dime you after you send 100 texts or 200 texts like a lot of other platforms do. And then if you need more roles in the system, you can add as many hiring managers as you want. They are $14 a piece for access into both systems, $10 if you just want them access into one system. And then the admin is $45 or $50 per month, just depending on, if you want them to have access into one system or both systems.
Got it.
Okay.
Cool.
So
to go with the monthly cost of the recruiting plus the onboarding, did you say that was $130 a month?
$135.
$135. Perfect. Thank you. Just taking some notes here. So thanks for that.
I will send you all of that in an email afterwards. So, yeah, that way you've got it. So yeah, the pricing structure is really simple. It's just a month-to-month pay-as-you-go, cancel anytime, and whoever the admin is in the account has access to add users, remove users, interchange those users in case someone leaves. So you're not set to the same 5 hiring managers today. You may need to change them out tomorrow. And then you can go in there and upgrade your account, or you can deactivate your account at any time. So you're in complete control. Okay. As far as the system itself, do you guys do anything outside the norm as far as your application process goes, or is it, pretty much a standard application? Give us basic information, we'll review it, and then maybe after some type of manager review or phone screen, then you'll collect deeper information? I mean, kind of give me a background there.
Yeah, honestly, I collect most of the basic information ahead of time. So, personal information, name, address, phone number, all that stuff, obviously. EEO requirements, I want obviously a resume. Typically I do try to get some salary requirements if possible. U.S. citizenship, which I guess falls under, the EEO stuff, but that's about it, man. If I can get that basic information just with the, initial application, that's pretty much what I'm going to need throughout the process.
Okay. Well, again, it's all custom. So if you noticed in the trial, there are sample templates in there, applications, questionnaires on the recruiting side. On the onboarding side, we include state and federal tax information, I-9s, direct deposit information, background checks, or preferences. So you can use those templates, or you can design your own. So it's completely up to you.
Good. So for example, if I wanted to add the employee handbook for, a new hire to read during the onboarding process and sign off on that's something I could customize.
Absolutely. Yep. On the onboarding side, you can upload documents into the library from your local machine. On the recruiting side, everything is built in the system. So you can't upload an existing document or questionnaire. You could copy it, but ultimately you've got to build it in the system, which again, some people love, other people they don't because they already have their stuff built, but it's so user-friendly, it would take you literally 5 minutes to design an application. And then you are in control of this is mandatory, so you can't submit it back into the system unless you answer these questions. These are optional. These are yes, no's. Here's a drop-down. Here's a form fill. So you control every aspect of the application, which is really cool.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So the portal should be somewhat familiar to you, the dashboard here. Now, depending on what user access you have, that will change basically the jobs and the candidates that you can view. So hiring managers, you need to assign them, hey, for every pharmacist and sales assistant, you are in charge of candidates that apply for those jobs. When you log in, you're only going to see those jobs. The stages, so this is the workflow. It's a default workflow, and it's just what we've found to be the most common stages of the hiring process. But you can change it, and you can create custom workflows for different jobs, right? So a pharmacist may have 8 stages, different background checks, screening, certifications, where, say, an assembler, it's a little bit more simple hiring process. They may only have 4 stages to go through. So you can create and customize workflows and put those workflows to work by setting up automated emails to be sent out when your internal team changes the stage. So a new applicant comes into the system will automatically send them an email saying, congratulations, we've received your application. Someone will be in touch with you after review. You can put them into a manager review. Most people don't send out an email on that stage, but you totally can. They pass that, they go to a phone screen or some type of interview. So I change it to that stage in the candidate, and the system will automatically send them an email. Congratulations, we reviewed your application. We would like to set up a phone screen or an interview. You know, here's a person to contact, or here's a way to schedule that, right? So it's a good way to just keep in touch with those candidates and let them know what's going on, because there's nothing worse than applying for a job. A week goes by and you're like, I haven't heard from them. Did they get it? Did they like it? Should I call them? Should I bug them? Right?
Yep.
So putting those workflows to work is a big part of this system, and customizing them so they work best for you. Okay. And then you'll have like a summary. So emails coming and going. You can link it to like a Gmail or a Microsoft Outlook account. Your tasks and events are all internal use, and you can assign tasks to jobs or candidates for hiring managers to complete. So, you know, this guy, we need to do a drug screen. I'm going to assign it to Bill, and I'm going to send Bill a reminder until he completes it. And then I can track the progress of it. Same with the events. I can schedule a calendar event in here, and if I'm using Google or Microsoft Outlook, it will populate on my third-party calendar, and we can set up reminders, right? Dates, times. So most of your time you'll spend in the jobs and the candidates, a little bit in the library if you're creating templates and storing those templates to retrieve and reuse, and then of course your reports. Now the reporting in the system is amazing. So you've got a few custom reports that you can't really change. You've got like a source metric. So, you know, out of all my job boards, show me who's performing the best, and show me of the best, where am I hiring the most candidates from? Or how long are our candidates typically staying in a certain stage, right? What's the holdup? So you mentioned, you know, things may be moving slow because everyone's busy. So we can actually track the progress of the stage in the candidate, a timeline, but then we can run reports to see, why are they sitting in a phone screen for so long? Or why are they sitting in a background check or a reference check for so long? Let's address that so we can speed up that. So instead of it taking 3 or 4 weeks to find someone to hire, we can narrow that down to, you know, maybe 10, 14 days, right?
Yep.
But you've also got the ability to create custom reports. So you can clone reports and then go in there and choose from candidate details, questionnaires, application questions, search resumes for keywords, and essentially design your own report. And as long as it's being pulled into ApplicantStack, we can report on it from day one. So we never delete anything. Okay? So depending on which tab I'm in up top, I get a secondary navigation menu on the far right, and it pertains just to the tab that I'm in. So on the home screen, if I'm the admin, I can go in there and I can manage my users. I can manage my billing. I can also go into the back end of the system, and I get this blue menu on the far left. And this is where you'll work to, say, activate different job boards. So you can control which ones are active or inactive, so that when you go to launch a job, you can bulk select from the list and post, right? Indeed is our primary sponsor. So on the trial, they don't let you post to Indeed. you have to have a live subscription. But once it's live, you can go in here and change some of the settings. So how can I want them to apply? Like through a mobile only or desktop and mobile? Can they use the quick apply option? Do you want Indeed to automatically sponsor some of the listings that come through? So Indeed is our primary partner. We've been partnered with them for years. So they will recognize that you're an ApplicantStack user and sponsor those listings for free as best as possible. But you still have the option when you post a job to pay for enhancements, right? And based on your budget, there's different packages, but that's outside of ApplicantStack. So you'll plug in your email address that's linked to your Indeed account, select, my budget's $500, and they will get in touch with you and say, okay, here's our packages for $500. What do you want to do? Right? Okay. So you can't do that outside of ApplicantStack. You're also not limited to just the name brand job boards or social media sites. So if you've got a careers page on your website, we can create a job board there. So if candidates hit your website, they go to your careers page and they're going to see every available position that you have. And once they click that position, ApplicantStack takes over and they're going to apply and they're going to feed back into this portal. Perfect. You can also do manual postings. So it's not listed here because it's manually done on the job listing itself. But a lot of people, they are aware of, say, Craigslist or an industry-specific job board. So if I have the ability to post there, whether I'm a member or I don't need to be a member, I can create the job listing, hit that job board, copy and paste the URL, and put it in a certain section down in the job listing. And if it's a reoccurring job board that I'm posting to, I can actually create that as a source, label it, save it, and then I can report on it. So essentially, you can use ApplicantStack to post anywhere, right? You're not just limited to the name brand job boards, which is really cool.
Nice. So when I do that, is that basically you create like a custom URL through ApplicantStack, like you said, you go into the job board, you put that URL in, and then, like, for example, I use LinkedIn. I have a couple paid job slots. So if I, posted a job on LinkedIn, I put the URL from ApplicantStack in there. Once they actually start applying through LinkedIn, that's going to pull them back into ApplicantStack, right?
Correct. But we already have a LinkedIn connection. So you don't have to do anything outside to post to LinkedIn. They already communicate with ApplicantStack, and all of these job boards, they already integrate with our system. So during the trial, the time to post is a little slower because they recognize subscription users first. When you subscribe to our service and you start posting to these jobs the first time as a new user, those first postings can take anywhere from 24 hours to maybe 5 business days. I've seen it take as long. Once they've pulled your job listings to their job board and they've recognized your username and different, back-end IT mumbo jumbo that I don't quite understand, then you start posting, those jobs will go live 24 to 48 hours once you launch them.
Okay.
So, but I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, you don't have to create the whole URL. The URL is already created. You just have to add a certain piece to the end of it. And then, yeah, you can post Craigslist, collegiate job boards, wherever you want. So that's really cool, right? You can also come back here on the left again and hit configure. And so this is where you can come in and basically create ApplicantStack custom for you. So no two accounts are going to be alike, right? So you can come in here and, for example, add your banner to each job listing. So whether they find you on Indeed or LinkedIn or through Facebook, when they open up your job description, your banner and your logo is going to be at the top of the page, right? Just makes it look clean and professional. You can come in here and change the stages of your jobs. So once I post a job, is it open? Yep. How long am I going to leave it open for? Do I want to refresh those listings every 30, 45 days and change some keywords around so I appear at the top of the search results again? What about the workflow, right? Is it a draft, so I'm still working on it, and then it's open, and then I post it to different job boards, and then it's filled? Is it on hold? Is it canceled? So you can control the flow of the jobs, just like you can control the flow of the application or the candidates, right? New, manager review, all the way down to, I want to send them an offer letter through the system. So there's a job offer stage in here. You can attach an email to that, which includes an offer letter. Send it to them, they sign off on it, send it back. The next stage is hired. Then I can move them into the hired stage, and it will push them onto the recruiting side. And this little icon up in the right top-hand corner, it's just 2 clicks to move from recruiting to onboarding. And it flows the exact same way. So I can create a onboarding workflow, and it can be generic for every job. I need tax information, policies and procedures, company handbooks, driver's licenses, whatever. That packet will already be built to email out to that new candidate. And then we send them a secure email, they verify who they are, and then they have a portal that they gain access to, and they start completing all that new hire paperwork. And they sign off on everything so that it's legitimate. If they, you can set it up so certain fields are mandatory. So if they try and skip something and they go to submit it back, you got to go back and answer this question. Same with the tax information. If they, forget to put in an address or their social security, they cannot submit the form back into the system, right? So it's foolproof. So you can create onboarding workflows specific to jobs. So again, pharmacist, I need you to fill out these 10 documents. Assembler, I only need these 4 documents. So I just create the onboarding workflow to coincide with the job, so the packet's built. But on the fly, if I need to add something to it, it's already stored in my library. I just go snag that document and include it one time or change the workflow, right? So super, super simple.
Yeah, quick question with related to this onboarding piece. So you guys have the like I-9, the W-4 in there. Do you guys maintain those in terms of like if there's any changes to those forms at the federal or state level? Do you guys actually go in and do that, or is it on the admin to make sure those are up to date?
No, we do that. So we will update those automatically as they are updated down to the state level. Now, some states, they go down to the county level and they need additional documentation. We don't go 3 layers deep. That would be on you.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. So let me hit the jobs tab here. So you've got a main dashboard and it's completely visible to everybody based off of what you've given them permission to see. And admin, you're going to see every open job that you've created, and that list can get expansive. So you can search or filter specific jobs or locations, departments. You've also got your search tool up here in the top right-hand corner, or you've got a more granular search right here. So we could do more specific information, including keywords. Okay. So the dashboard here is just going to give you information about the job, where you've posted it, and then this is all internal use. Okay. With salaries, you can decide if you want that visible to the candidate or if it's just visible to the job board so they can classify it properly. And then you've got your stages. Where is it at in the stage? And then if it's open and launched, you'll see the icon of the job board that it's posted to. Okay. If you want to quickly open up your own job board, on the right in the menu, job board. So I can quickly revert to my own careers page and get a bird's eye view of what it looks like.
Nice.
Okay. Creating a job is super simple. On the far right, it's the first option, create job. I can start from a blank form and I'm just filling out all the fields with an asterisk, or I can create a template one time and save it in here for reuse. This is just the description, right? So again, you'll be able to control what's visible to the candidate versus just the job board.
Got it.
Right? But the more descriptive we can get in here, the higher you're going to appear in search results, right? I don't know all the parameters there. I don't do the setups and implementations, but that, that's something that you can review on your training call with Mark. And he's an expert. He's been doing this a long time, so he can give you best practices and pointers, right? So just create your job description, what that candidate's going to read and find and decide if they want to apply. And then you've got your user access internally. So who's going to be the owner of the job, basically manage the job, create the job, but then who is going to help them manage candidates as they come through? And then you've got your workflows. Have I created a workflow, or am I just using the default that ApplicantStack's provided me? And then I've got drop-down menus to make my selections. Yep. Once I get my foundation built, the description, then I go back into the job itself, and now I'm getting ready to build it. So I can go to my questions tab, and I can start a new questionnaire or an application, or I can add from a library. Same with custom questionnaires. You can put them on the application itself, or it can be outside the application, because from there, we can put scoring rules onto those questions to help the system decide out of the 25 candidates that just applied for this pharmacist job or the x-ray technician job. I ask them certain questions, and I want to find out if they're top qualified, mid qualified, or if the system's going to knock them out because they just don't meet the qualifications. So we don't knock them out of the system, we don't reject anything, just when we're looking at the candidates tab, and as everyone's coming through, we've got our scoring column. So I can quickly see, oh, okay, who's my top rated candidate and who do I not need to spend time reviewing because they're just not qualified. But I'm going to keep all of their information so that if down the road I've got a job that is available and I want to be proactive instead of reactive, I can come in here and run a search. And I can search my pool of candidates in this system based off of keywords for that job, and it will pull up every candidate. And then I can push that job directly to those candidates. I don't have to wait for them to find it on Indeed or wherever it's posted to. Right? So that scoring rule is huge. Talk about efficiency. Saving time, just not, oops, I need to go back to jobs. Just saving time, letting the system do the work for you. Okay. So then if you want to tie a task or an event to it, super simple, right? Drug screening, background check, whatever, just create it, label it. If you already have a template, maybe there's a questionnaire, maybe there's a scorecard that you want to have them complete, throw it in here. Have them rate that candidate. Assign it, and then this guy's kind of forgetful, so I'm going to remind him every day until it's done, or every few days. Same idea with an event, right? We just create the event, label it, assign it, and if you need to put in like a location, an address, you can, right? And then we can actually preview the listing before it goes live, so we can see what the candidate's going to see. So this banner up top here, we can customize. So we can put sharp notions so that no matter what job board they find us on, it looks like they're on your website or just looks professional.
Nice. And is that feature just built in, Nate? There's no additional cost for that?
Built in.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you've got your job description that you've built, and then you can actually hit the Apply Now button and review the application that you've designed. What information are you collecting? What attachments are you collecting? Personal information. And then you've got your EEOC right there. So you can build all of this into the system, and then they're just going to fill it out and then push it back into the system once they've completed everything. Right? When I'm ready to launch it, I just go to the Launch tab, and then you've got your careers page, your local intranet. So if you wanted to post it on your website before it went live, give your existing employees a chance to, promote themselves, post it on your job or your website first for a week, and then tell the system at the end of that 5th day, send it to these job boards. And then you've got the manual option right down here. So KSL is local here in Utah. It's a news channel, but they have an online website. I mean, classifieds, animals, cars, jobs, you name it, right? People love that site. So I just need to go log into my account, hit the job board, and then copy and paste it.
Nice.
And now I can compare it to these other job boards, right? With Indeed right here, this kind of confuses people. So I don't have to post all of these one at a time. I just hit post job. And then Indeed will say, hey, do you want us to sponsor? If so, what's your budget? And then how do we contact you to talk about how to spend that much money? Or, nah, skip it. And then you've got just a way to bulk select all the jobs. And then you've got just a couple more steps before it actually posts. And then again, if it's the first time, 1 to 5 days. If it's a reoccurring thing, 24 hours, within 24 hours, they'll go live. Yeah. So once the job is out there, then you've got the stages, which is this green box right next to the name. So the current stage is open. So the green box is always going to be the next stage, filled, open, on hold, canceled, right? And whenever I change these stages, I can leave a note as to why, and then BCC any other internal member on my team so they're aware. So communication, keeping everyone on the same page and having that insight to what's going on is huge. Do you guys just have one location or do you have multiple?
Yeah, we're just in Rochester, New York at the moment. We are talking about opening some other potential, I guess you could say, remote offices, but that's probably going to be down the line in the next year or two.
Cool. I mean, in all actuality, that's neither here nor there because this is all cloud-based, right? It's just, and Rochester's awesome, man. It reminds me of Utah.
Is that where you're located? Out in Utah?
Yeah. So I think last year, the year before, I drove from Manhattan to Rochester, and just that drive, the weather changed like 6 times, and I'm like, am I in Utah? This looks like Utah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it's pretty cold and snowy up here, and a lot of people, you tell them, you tell them Rochester, New York, and they automatically think it's got to be close to the city or something, and no, not quite.
Yeah. It's beautiful up there, man. I think it was like 5 or 6 hours, but I enjoyed it. That canyon.
Yeah,
besides
exactly
the cops. Yeah, besides the cops, I think I saw like 30 cops. I was like, yikes.
Yeah, that's New York State for you, bud.
Yep, for sure. So, all right. So creating jobs, extremely simple, right? If you want to do it yourself, you can, or you can assign it to hiring managers. Hiring managers, they just can't post jobs. That's either the admin or the recruiter, okay, but not the hiring manager, okay? So then as candidates apply, you just go to your candidates tab, and they're just all going to funnel into here. And then names, resumes, contact phone numbers, the job they applied for, the source, where did you find us? And then you've got rating, disposition, and feedback already built in. But a lot of clients, they have their own additional scorecards. So I could create a task, attach that scorecard, or I could just use the rating, right? Leave a rating. Tell me what you think. And tell me why, right? No driver's license. They're not 18. They don't have this certification, whatever. Right? I can click on any one of these candidates and it opens up their profile, so to speak. And then I can just do a deeper dive. I can open up their resume or any other supporting document and review that, print it. Right? Oh, it opened up on my other screen. Just a Word doc that populates, right? And it'll all store in this system, so it's not going anywhere.
Nice.
right? You've got your answers to those questions. So if you wanted to see which answers, made them a top prospect, you can. And then you can also search if you need to. You've got your feedback. So if you want to use that, keep everyone on the same page, why they want to hire or not hire this person. The workflow is the stages, so we can track the progress, right? So this one, 4/17, they applied, but May 6th is when we finally got to it. Why did it take us 3 weeks? Right? If there are any open tasks or events, we'll be able to see those, who they're assigned to, how long they've been open. And then you've got a history tab. So the history tab is awesome because if you email or text out of this system, it'll keep track of it for the candidate. Or even if they apply for multiple jobs, you can see what jobs they've applied for in the last year, right? And it is searchable. Okay. And then you can text straight through this system if you want. So as long as they give us a valid phone number, I just hit the little cell phone and I just communicate with them straight through the system. And it's interactive, so they can reply to the text and it'll show up in here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's not just one way. Same with emails. I can quickly just email them if I need to. And I can include additional documentation or questionnaires. Yeah. And then you just manage the stages. So again, manager review. The next is a phone screen. And then, of course, as I change to phone screen, I can include a rating. I can add a note. I can already have my email template built. I can choose when to save it or send it, and then notify my team internally. Yeah. So you can even send like offer letters. And then we've got templates in here for offer letters. Sign off on them. And then you've got your hired stage. So you click all the way down to hired. Same idea, notes, emails, and then you've got workflow. Well, I've already got my pharmacist workflow built. So now when I push them into that onboarding side, we're going to see the documentation ready to go. I can just fine tune anything, or I just hit send paperwork.
Nice.
Right. So from there, the rest of the tabs are just all the emails, all the tasks, all the events. The library is pretty self-explanatory. Just whatever you create, you have the option to save it. Job templates, questionnaires, email templates, task templates, custom documents that you've created. Right. And then, of course, the reports. So here's the 4 that I mentioned. You can't really customize other than, changing the dates, searching for specific information like locations, departments. But any of these down here, I can customize. So I just always click the active candidate details, but you can choose any of them, and that's your foundation, right? So active candidate details. I can clone it to the right. And when I clone it, I can name this whatever I want. I can save it as a favorite so I don't have to keep building it every time. And then down at the bottom, here's what I'm searching on in the right? But I don't care about date created. But I do care about their disposition. And I want to know about the reference check too.
Nice. Yeah, the thing I liked about ADP the most was actually the reporting features, and this is, I want to say similar, but it definitely reminds me of it, especially this customization here with like the fields and whatnot. So this is really nice to see.
Yeah. So any questionnaires or application questions that you want to throw in there, you can. So this gets pretty awesome. Whatever you want. Okay. Yep. So then I've hired somebody. So I just click this 3x3 dot, whatever they want to call it, and flip this penny over. And if you didn't know any better, you'd still think that you were in the recruiting side because it looks and flows the exact same way. Same menus, same tabs, except, you know, hired instead of jobs and candidates. Yep. Same pipeline, same workflow, unless you've customized it. Click the new hires. I've got my list. The tasks is the paperwork. And then I can see what stage they're in and who is supposed to be doing their job. And then I just click on the candidate, and they're going to sit in a paperwork stage. So if I don't need to change anything and I've already built this so that the system is automatic, here's the paperwork I'm sending them. But I can add something in the fly if I need to. I just go to add form over here on the right. Right? And then on this side, you just bulk upload your forms and store them in the library. But again, you know, all the state and federal tax information's in here, I-9s, direct deposit, emergency contacts, supporting documents. I mean, there is no like, oh, you only get 1 gig of space before we start charging you more. Nope. It's all cloud-based. It's redundantly backed up, so upload as much as you want into here.
Nice.
Okay. So back to the hires screen, just like on the recruiting side, you've got your stages, right? So even after I send them the paperwork and they fill it out and push it back, there's other options. Maybe there's orientation paperwork. Maybe there's training documents. So if you guys do open up these remote offices, I can send everyone everything they need to do before they start on their first day. All right? And then I can view the candidate experience. So on the far right at the very bottom, view portal. So as I send them the paperwork, it's a secure email with a secure link. They validate and verify who they are. Then they have access into their portal, right? Information, who they would contact if they had questions internally, and then their paperwork. Start my task. The system will push information over to help reduce user error and eliminate double data entry because that's annoying. And then you control, hey, you have to answer all these fields because if you don't and you come down here and submit it, I'm not going to let you. And then we can track all their progress. So you can track it right on that dashboard, or you've got a status here or over here on the right. And then they'll just drop to a completed form where, just like the resume, I can open them up, PDF file, HTML, whatever, review it, save it. And then we can export the data so that you can send it to payroll. And it's just a CSV file. So you just go to the menu on the right and you go to export. And it will just zip up one hire or all new hires and make it retrievable on my computer. Where did it open up? I don't know where it opened up. Come on, where do you go? But you get the idea. It'll actually create like an ApplicantStack folder, and it'll be called hires. And then it doesn't pull everything. What? Where did it go? Let's try it again. It will, oh, there it is. Cancel that. I already had it open. What the? Where is it? I switched my screens around today, so.
Your bottom left there, I do see the ApplicantStack zip file there. I don't know if you can click on that to open.
Yeah. So it'll populate into this. I don't need that one anymore. Right? So it'll actually create an AS automatically saved document, and then it'll be hires here. And then just opens up in an Excel spreadsheet, and it'll pull this information. But as far as like the W-4s, the I-9s, tax information, you'll still have to manually enter that into the payroll software.
Got it. Now, what if I wanted to just like download the I-9, for example, like specifically one document like that, and the purpose would be, putting that in a specific folder that I have where I maintain those for the company. Is that possible to do?
Yeah, so you don't even have to zip up that file like we just did. So just
That's
as the forms come back through,
yeah,
right
probably
here.
download it like a PDF or something, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so whatever format you submit it to them in, and if they're filling it out directly on that form, if it's a PDF, yeah. So I could click on these and it will open up a PDF for me to print, to just save, and then move to that folder. So yeah, and then everything will stay in there permanently.
Good.
Right? So, I mean, it doesn't get much more user-friendly than this, and like I said, right, we'll help you get it set up, we'll answer your questions, but after that, man, it's just hit the ground running. And then the help center, let me get my shoe back on, is, yeah, dude, my foot, it's like, I got some, it's not a fungus, but I don't know what it is. It's like one of my toes is like hurting bad.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, I never get that.
You a runner?
No, back in the day, I played lacrosse in high school, and I used to get, like athlete's foot all the time.
Yeah.
Did I close that whole thing down? I think I clicked too much. Let me go back. But after that, man, no, my feet are like awesome. They're baby smooth all the time. But all of a sudden, it got really hot here out in Utah, and I think my feet are just sweating in my shoes, but I can't get it to go away. It's annoying.
That is annoying.
Right? Okay. What was I going to show you? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Like downloading like the I-9, which you don't even have to show me, man. I mean, the way that you explained it, I mean, it seems like it's really straightforward. I just wanted to make sure like that type of feature was available.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as those forms come back in, they will just sit in that employee profile in the completed forms in whatever format they're in. So right now they're not complete, so I can open them, but it's actually the form that I'm sending them, versus once they're completed and sent back to me, they're going to sit right here.
Got it.
And it'll say view file. And I just click view file, and then just like when I exported it, it'll open up in a separate window down here, and then you can open it up and populate it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So super simple. Oh, I was going to show you the top right hand corner, orange box, white question mark. You could launch the help center. So this is that library online. So you've got quick started videos and guides for both the recruiting and the onboarding side. But I could come in here and type in, application. And it will pull up every article with instructions. Some of them have videos on how to create applications, customize, edit, manage the stages. I mean, and we utilize this internally. So this one's got a video, but it'll give you like step-by-step instructions to show you how to do everything. That one's got a video too. So this is extremely helpful. I use this every day because there's so much you can do in ApplicantStack. It's cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that's it, man. It's probably one of the biggest bang for your buck ATS systems you will find. That's why it's
yeah, absolutely. For the price, it seems like you guys have quite a few features, which is great. And even with the onboarding, I mean, that total price there for the 135 is quite reasonable.
Oh yeah. I think anything comparable, you lose the self-service option, and I think the closest next one, I think you're like $350 a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about one thing I didn't ask you guys? What about mobile features? Like, let's say a candidate was going to apply through their phone, through our website. Do you guys have the capability to support that?
Yeah. So So we are mobile friendly in every aspect except for text to hire. So
Yep.
you cannot send offer letters, and they can't they can do the onboarding through their mobile phone. I personally don't like it. I would rather do it at a computer. I feel safer, but they can do it through a mobile phone. And yes, as long as you guys support mobile friendly, they can apply for jobs through their mobile phone. We just can't do the text to hire, but that is in our wheelhouse. It is in the forefront. But with everything else that Swipe Clock is doing, so Swipe Clock owns ApplicantStack. It's just one of the products that we offer. So if you needed any type of HRIS system or time and attendance or scheduling, this is just an a la carte purchase for recruiting and onboarding. But we do have a full suite of products. It's called Workforce Hub, and it's an all-in-one labor management solution. So
Nice. Yeah, which makes sense what you're saying. So if I was gonna, export a zip with technically payroll or an application or a hired person information, you can basically convert that right over to the HRIS that you're speaking of.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's a Workforce Hub. So they too would have a mobile app. So once they're hired and they're set up in payroll, then they would have a mobile app that basically allows them to do a number of different things. If you need them to clock in and out through their mobile phone, we can do that. You've got geo tagging and fencing options, so you can track where they're at in the field. They've got access to their check stubs and their tax information. They've got like a manager weekly check-in board, or there's a recognition wall. There's a suggestion box. You've got a message center. And then you can continuously push new documents out to the company as a whole, or maybe it's a performance review or a merit increase or whatever. You can send it to just a single employee and they can download it or sign off on it through this system, right? It'll track like PTO, so they can do, if they are keeping track of their time, they can make sure that they're working the days, and if they forget to clock out any day, I can send my manager a note, right? All of this is totaled out for me, so come pay time, I know how many hours I'm getting paid, no discrepancies, right? Check my time off, send time off requests, and then you've got notifications back and forth, right? Emails, certain notifications have texts, certain notifications have push notifications on the mobile phone, right? And then they've got like their HR tab, so they've got their file cabinet, so the employee will always have access to their paperwork, as well as so does the admin. And I think I logged in as an admin here, but you do have a choice, right? The admin, are we also giving you the same capabilities as a standard employee? So clock in and out, track your time, PTO. But you'll notice over here on the left, you've got your applicant tracking. So that would just launch ApplicantStack. And then the onboarding process, you can continue to use it all through ApplicantStack, or we can flip it so that they populate in the Workforce Hub portal here. And it essentially works the same way, it just looks a little bit different.
Yeah, but you can start the onboarding through this side of the house then.
Correct, yep. So whether you purchase it a la carte and just use it through ApplicantStack, or you use our suite of products, then the onboarding can be done in either or, it's up to you, right? And same idea, you've got your new hire documents that you upload, and then you can add a new hire, or ApplicantStack will push them in here to my dashboard. And then I essentially just walk through and select, here's the paperwork that I need you to complete. And then as you can see, you can track their progress. And then this one's a little bit more intuitive because here are all those documents. So here's an I-9 that I can just quickly pop open, view it, save it, print it, whatever.
Nice.
Right. So yeah, so if you need any of those other features and you just want one system to tackle it all, rather than having one system for onboarding and recruiting, another for timekeeping, another for HR, because that's old school, right? Everyone wants a one-stop shop now, and we've got it. Everything but payroll. We don't do payroll.
Well, good to know. Yeah, we're all set
Yep.
there at the moment, at least.
Cool. So yeah, go in and use that trial, man. And then if you just want to activate the account, all you have to do is go to the home screen on either the onboarding or the recruiting and just go to your manage billing. And then you plug in a credit card. And then if you just want the base license, no texting, no more users, you know, you're $135 per month. You'll plug in a credit card. It will hit your credit card that day, but then it's a 30-day license. So it'll be 30 days out, and then they'll send you another invoice. Or actually, unless you choose the billing option, it'll just automatically bill your card on the same date every month. And it will actually show you the billing cycle at the bottom of that page.
Yeah, and then like you said, you can cancel anytime, right?
Yep, you just go in there and say, and there's a button at the top that says deactivate account.
Cool. And how long is the how long do I get once I actually start the demo? Is it like a week or two?
14 days.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna probably get on tomorrow when I have some time and start playing around with it.
Yeah, it's really simple. Like I said, there's all documentation in there. So really, if I was you or a user looking to purchase a system, I would just go in there and go to the back end and go to the job boards and just make sure that they're all active, which I think by default they are. And then I would just immediately go to my jobs tab, create a job, and then just bulk, just blanket, just shotgun approach, post it everywhere.
Yep.
And then on our side, they're going to see that come through. So trial accounts, they actually have to be approved on our side because we get a lot of fraud. So they'll approve them the same day. And then depending on the job board, each one of these job boards communicates with ApplicantStack differently. So Indeed is the quickest, but again, we can't use them on the trial, unfortunately. But they pull twice a day. Most of the others, I think they pull once a day, and it varies throughout the day. But you'll start seeing those job listings and candidates, flowing through immediately if they find and apply for those jobs.
So, makes sense. And then with the demo, I mean, I don't think this would be a huge priority, but just to ask, could I set up the integration with our current company website, like on our careers page, like putting in an XML feed, or do you have to pay for the subscription to do that?
I am not sure on that. That's a good question. You might be able to link it up to the job board here. I could definitely find out, but again, you could always just come in here and say, did you launch it? No, there you go. So let's see if we go job board. I want to say you've got to have an account because of the way that it works.
Makes sense. I was just wondering, it's not a huge deal, man.
I mean, you could try it, but right here, so you just go to the job boards, activate, deactivate, configure your job boards, and this will walk you through. So you could try it. If it works, great. If not, I'll check with Mark, but I think that there's something that they have to tie into it internally to get it to work correctly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, let me know if you have any questions. I'll send you a follow-up email. I'll get you the pricing structure in there. Hit the trial, use it. If you do activate it, I'll get an email. And then from there, I just submit you into the training and implementation with Mark. And I think most of the time he's about 3 to 5 days out, but he'll send you an email. And I think he's been using a self-scheduler. So he'll send you an email and say, hey, here's my calendar over the next week. Pick a day that works best for you, and then you're on his calendar.
All right. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I'll play around with the demo. Keep an eye out for the pricing information, and include anything else you think might be helpful. Although, I've got some really good notes on our call today. And just to kind of wrap it up on my end, I am as you can imagine, looking at some other competitors of yours, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm looking to hopefully make a decision sooner rather than later. So once I
Okay.
play around with the demo, go through a couple other demos with other ATSs. I'm going to basically present my findings to my leadership team and then push for a decision from there. So
Cool.
this is all really helpful, Nate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I did record this webinar today, so if you want a copy, I can throw that in there as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that might be helpful, especially if we're, looking at you and one other person to make a decision on. I might have somebody else maybe check out the recording just so you don't have to go through a full demo again.
Cool. Yeah, I'll include that. And yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions.
All right, sounds good, Nate.
Okay, thanks, Matt. You were a pleasure, man. Enjoy your day.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks again for your time. Have a
Okay.
good one.
You're
All
welcome. Take it easy.
right.
Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.